Hi there. I just wanted to hop on and say hello, hello. Hope you're all having a really fantastic day. I just met with my doctor yesterday and got my lab results and blood work, hair mineral analysis, and it was honestly shocking to me. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on myself. Hey, Pat, thanks for hopping on. It's not bad news, I promise. I feel like, you say shocking news and we automatically think it's going to be bad, right? I just wanted to kind of share this. So in my family history, we have a lot of really significant health issues, and I feel like that's incredibly common these days. But it is something that over the course of years has actually terrified me and really made me want to look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm not just going to stick my head in the sand on this. I want to know, is there something I can do to deviate, to change course? Is there something that I can do to maybe take my predisposition and my genetics and improve upon them so that I don't necessarily have the guarantee of the same results happening? It's something that over the course of years of my life of just considering things and of even taking steps towards wellness, I've had to make some really big changes. And when, I love my parents like with all my heart, but I wasn't necessarily raised with wellness in mind. And that's something that's become really popular over the last maybe 5 years or so. And we don't even necessarily know what that means. But in my mind, wellness is sort of a compilation of being well in every area. So that's kind of my general definition for that. And I lost my mom early. She was in her mid-60s about 4 years ago. She smoked her entire life. God bless her. I love my mom so much. And hey, Tracy. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on. She smoked my whole life. We ate a lot of fast food, lots of coffee, lots of soda, really no exercise, no reading labels, just like, hey, we're just going to do what we're going to do. We want to feel good. And so this is how I was raised, right? So when I've had my first kid, Bryce, 11 years ago, hey, Barb, thanks for hopping on. I was like, wait a second, what's in baby food? Like this is like a precious bundle. And I don't want to just give him whatever, like what's in here? And I started making my own baby food. And that sounds crazy, doesn't it? Except I knew exactly what I was feeding my child. And there's no judgment, of course, there's never any judgment. I just wanted to share with you some of my story. And that's how that started. I started reading labels. And then from there, I was like, what about migraines? What do I do about migraines? Is this something I have to live with? My mom used to have migraines all the time. She would never go to the doctor. She would never deal with them. She ended up having a brain aneurysm that ruptured about 21 years before she passed away. Now that's a big deal. And so what I learned from those experiences is I want to pay attention when my body is giving me red flags. Okay. I don't want to stick my head into the sand and say, well, I'll just pop some more medication. No, I don't want to do that because I saw that did not result in a very good outcome for my mother, who I love dearly. And that's one example, and we have a lot of early deaths on my side of the family. We have a lot of people very sick. I had a cousin who passed away at 45 of a heart attack. He was a workaholic and an alcoholic. And so with these things, I weighed them very carefully and I said, okay, this is what I could be predisposed to. Is this how I want to live? And the answer was no, I did not. That is when I began my journey into essential oils. Actually, my third born child was very, he just had a lot of issues ongoing as a kid, as a baby, 6 months old. We were at the doctor all the time and nothing was changing. We were doing it, putting him on the things, and we love our doctor, but nothing was changing. And I just thought, that's not okay. This is not okay. This is something that needs to change. And I'm the only one that can be an advocate for the change that I want in my life. No one else does that for me, right? And so I began to just reach out. I became open. I started looking for solutions. I'm like, what do people do? What do people do when the system has failed them? And is this the only way? And so when I had some friends talk to me about, you know, essential oils, I was like, they're so weird. And aren't they weird? You know, what's happening? And so I began to become open to something that I previously wasn't, because I wanted a change that had never happened, never taken place before in my life. So we began using essential oils, and then I thought maybe I can use these for these areas in my life that I don't want to have the same outcome as my family. Hi, Joey. Hey, Rita. Thanks for hopping on. Hi, Diane. And so this is, you know, my son now is 11. My oldest son's 11, and my mom passed away 4 years ago. So you can see this whole course of time that has taken place where I've just begun to think, how do I make these changes? And so we started doing that, and I began to do supplements, and then, you know, everyone says exercise, but I couldn't exercise. I was really overweight, and I was weighed down with little children. But I recently began to take control of my eating and starting to put nutritious foods in, because I thought, what you eat is so important, right? And affects our cells. And so I just want to kind of, you know, hopefully that explains the journey a little bit. So then talking to my doctor, all right? Now, I went to my doctor 2 years ago, and he's someone who has been in traditional medicine, and really similar to even what I'm telling you, began to realize, hey, let's talk about what we're eating. Let's talk about, you know, other ways of viewing things than maybe just popping a medicine, you know, a prescription or something. Is there something else we can do first? Let's have another first line of defense. So I really love this guy. And, you know, and I went to him a couple years ago, and I wasn't in great shape. I had a ton of stress, and that was affecting my adrenals, my thyroid. It was affecting my body's ability to like, I couldn't calm down. And the way that my doctor described it is, he said, listen, internally, so not externally, but internally, your system is basically sprinting as fast as it can all the time. And basically, you know, if you think about a runner, maybe you think about a marathon, not the guys who win first place, because they do sprint the whole time, and that is just not normal. They're like amazing, right? So not that context, but in a normal context, when you have someone running a marathon, you've got your pace, right? And you're kind of going. But in my case, I was actually trying to sprint all day, every day. And my system would shut down early afternoon, and I would be exhausted. And it's because inside what was happening was, and so we wanted to start to address that. So we began to use, I started to change my diet. I looked at food allergies, but then I was wondering, why do I even have food allergies? Why am I sensitive to something that I need every single day of my life, you know? And we began to implement supplements and other things that I knew were going to support my body. Now, flash forward 2 years later to yesterday, and I got my results back. So we did blood work, we did a hair and mineral analysis, and we dove into some of these things. So I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm not gonna go into all of them. I don't even know what all they mean, the specifics, like a CBC or comprehensive metabolic panel, you know, that kind of stuff. Some of you might be really familiar with that. I just was like, okay, cool. So my comprehensive metabolic panel includes like your liver, your kidney, your histamines, and all of mine were picture perfect, which is awesome. And phenomenal to me. We also talked about something called methylation, which is your body's ability to detox. Now, my doctor knows that I'm doing ketogenic lifestyle to lose weight. He knows that that's working for me. And he told me that one of the reasons that we hold on to weight is actually because our body is protecting us from toxins in our system. So if you're someone that struggles to lose weight, like you just can't get it off, it may be, and probably is, because you've got toxins, you have things in your body, and the fat cells help to protect your organs from that. So it's your body's way of protecting you. Isn't that, my mind was completely blown when he said that. That's why you couldn't lose weight before, because you just had a lot of buildup in your system. And once I started to help my body, provide it what it needed to detox, just to get rid of different things that were harmful in my system, my body was like, oh, well, we don't need the extra fat anymore. And now my body is releasing weight. Now I'm still disciplined. I'm still eating, you know, what I need to. It's not like it's just sort of magical, but nutrients in our body, whether we have enough or not enough, actually affect that as well, right? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Stephanie. Thanks so much for hopping on. So vitamin D. I'm almost on target for that. I'm actually just 1 point low, so not extreme, 1 point lower than kind of like the ideal. And we're going to shoot for 20 points higher because of my family history. When you have vitamin D at a certain level, you have a 90% risk reduction in most cancers. And this is something that's very important to me. So we're actually going to be working on increasing my vitamin D intake, but on paper, I'm actually doing pretty good. And then my thyroid numbers, which regulate your metabolism, those are all, the 2 of the 3 were like completely spot on. And one of my thyroid levels is actually a little low, like right there on the edge. So we're going to bring that up. My B12, he said, was double what it was 2 years ago. And it's like off the charts. And he said, that's actually really good because B12 is one of the methylators. It's one of the ways that our body can help detox. So having a high amount of B6, B9, B12 in my system is helping. It's one of the reasons why my body's losing weight. And so I get a shot with those vitamins from Medical Weight Loss when I go. And it is helping. That's why it works in our body that way. Isn't this crazy? This is so crazy, right? He checked my cardiac, in my cardiac system for internal inflammation. Perfect. And then on the hair mineral analysis, we found that I have a ton of lead, and it's because of my purple shampoo for my hair. So I'm going to be looking for a more natural shampoo. If anyone has any recommendations, I would love to hear that, which is pretty awesome. And I kept waiting. We're going through this, right? And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. And I'm like, okay, where's the bad news? You know, where's the bad news, doctor? And I didn't have any, guys. I didn't have any. And it is amazing to me. It is amazing to me that I'm in a place where I'm 41 and I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. And I am in control for my part, okay? Because we can't control everything. I can't control if I go outside and I get hit by a car, unless I don't look. But I just feel like for so many of us that we feel like there's nothing we can do. And we feel like the things that happen to us are just the things that happen to us. And we don't feel like we have a part to play in that. And I just want you to know that you do have a part to play. And if you are willing to be open, and if you are willing to just open your eyes and look around to what's in front of you and the opportunities that are being presented to you, maybe that's the very thing that you need to hear. And it may be the very thing that is going to produce the change and be the impetus to get you where you want to go. And wouldn't that just be amazing? And so I'm so excited today. I am so excited that the news from my doctor was really, really good. It's really amazing. How often do you hear that? I feel like, you know, there's so many harmful and horrible stories out there. And I just want to say I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. But it also wasn't by accident. Okay, it wasn't by accident. And so I always feel like I just want to encourage people that wherever you're at, in whatever you're doing, if you are wanting to make changes in your life, especially in the area of health, look at what is being presented. Now, I just have to say, now I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate. And one of the things that all of us in doTERRA fear is we fear being that person. We don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. That's why I don't want to do a Facebook Live and come on and tell you, hey, by the way, I'm doing awesome. And it's because I take these every single day. And I take essential oils, because I'm afraid that that's going to come off in a way where it seems self-serving, when actually I just want to tell you what I'm doing because it's working. And so if you're in a place where you think, you know what, I really am not at my best, or I've really had this issue consistently over time, or, you know, maybe you've heard someone talk about doTERRA and you've just shut it down. You've been like, nope, I don't want to hear that. I just want to encourage you, if you want to make change, why not? I mean, my gosh, what if this is the thing, you know? And so I just, that's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to come on and say the news to me from my doctor was shocking because it was so good. And I'm so encouraged today. And if you're in a place where you want to make great and big changes in your life, I would love to connect with you. I would love to share with you what I'm doing. I would be happy to talk to you about the specifics, because personally, I want the details. I'm someone that's like, so tell me what you do in the morning when you get up. What are you doing at lunch? What are you doing before bedtime? And this whole thing is a journey, you know, like I started off because I didn't want to, I don't want to die at 65 in a hospital bed, because that's what I saw with my mom. And I don't want to do that. And so I took action. I felt the need to take action to make these changes in my life. So I started doing that. And now our family eats better. And then a couple years ago, I started not sleeping good. And I was like, well, wait, what's going on? You know, I'm taking supplements, you know, I'm doing oils. What is it? So I started to dive into that. And now I have a whole protocol that I do at night, and I sleep great. Isn't that amazing? So these things we do step by step. We don't have to eat, you know, the giant sized cookie all at once, but we can take a little bite at a time, and eventually we get to enjoy all that goodness called our life, right? So I'm just so encouraged. I wanted to share the good news with you. I appreciate you guys celebrating with me, and I'm so thrilled that for my part, I'm doing everything possible, and it is working. My doctor told me, he's like, you keep doing what you're doing. We're going to make a few tweaks because what you're doing is working. And he was so encouraging, and it was so fantastic is the only word that I can use to really fully describe this. And so I just wanted to share that good news with you guys today. Okay. So love you guys. Have a great day, and be well.